Welcome to our web exclusive. I'm Shannon Heggie, along with Eyewitness News analyst General Reginald Centracchio. Thank you for joining us once again. Two bombs in less than 24 hours in Russia, one at a train station, one on a bus. No one's claimed responsibility for these attacks, but Chechen rebels are suspected. And now, of course, there's a lot of fear over potential attacks at the Sochi Winter Games. What's being done both in Russia and here in the U.S. to enhance the safety of those games?
Yeah. I think right now we have a good environment to be able to work together between Russia and the United States, considering they both have an equally shared responsibility for the Olympics. This gives us an opportunity and creates an environment that we can, in fact, work together. Although, obviously, with the advent of the NSA being a consideration and Russia not really understanding how we do it, we understand they do intelligence gathering equally as well as we do. So I think this might bring together a possible compromise to understand that we need to share information to preclude events like this from taking place, especially in the last 2 days.
Yeah, and especially in the light of Russia offering, a one-year stay to NSA leaker Edward Snowden. Is this going to bring our countries or better our relationship, at least having to work together to protect this?
Well, it certainly creates the environment for that, considering we both have the same interest. As I said earlier, between the Olympics, we both have human life there, which is respected by both Russia and the United States. So that's a common ground. And so we don't want to see any kind of terrorism taking place. So if we can work together to preclude that from happening, that's clearly in the best interest of both countries.
Okay, and let's talk about our troops in Afghanistan now, because with the new year approaching, do you believe the UN and U.S. troops will finally be coming home from Afghanistan?
It depends on whether the president of Afghanistan will actually sign an agreement. If he hasn't already done so over the last couple of days, that's been a bone of contention as to whether he wants us there or not. But keeping in mind, if we do stay there beyond 2014, there has to be a security force with that. We just can't keep American troops and put them in harm's way without a substantial physical presence of security personnel as well as a logistics train to keep them safe. So, and as much as the agreement is that we'll take combat troops out by the end of 2014, it's unlikely all of our troops will be out of Afghanistan by the year 2014.
Do you think we'll see any results of that, any changes in Afghanistan once most of our troops are gone? Are you worried?
Well, I am. Equally, as we see, it's happening in Iraq. Daily, we have an occurrence of more terrorism from within. Afghanistan is not like Iraq. Afghanistan is a multitude of tribes. They have no desire to have a central government over them. So I think what you'll see once UN troops and US troops leave, that'll start to splinter into the kind of scenario we saw before we even went into Afghanistan. And that's a scary proposition because we don't need a place for terrorism to foster up and make sure that we keep it where it's at right now.
Also talking about the new year, we're hearing from a lot of Rhode Island legislators worried about spending cuts in 2014. How will that affect the U.S. military and more specifically the Rhode Island National Guard?
Shannon, there are two issues that we need to really address for fiscal aspects of it. First is the sequestration. They gave a little bit of relief, but not significant. That'll continue. The big deal is $500 billion over the next 10 years is in place. So when you start to see what impact that will have, it'll mean a reduction in troop strength, a reduction in kind of force structure we have, certainly research and development, and certainly the kind of aircraft and airframes we have, as well as submarines and other things that we need to stay current on and make sure that we are the superpower, if not the only superpower, because China is catching up pretty quickly. So we need to make sure we don't fall behind in that area.
And finally, with those troops who are coming home in the new year, how can we make sure that the new year is a positive one for them and help them transition into civilian life?
Well, the first thing we can all do is just thank them, give them a big hug, say welcome home. Well, beyond that, too, keep in mind the families have made a tremendous sacrifice, but we can volunteer with the VA, and there are many programs, and all you have to do is go to the VA website, and it'll show you where you can make volunteerism a very important part of welcoming our troops home.
Okay. General Centracchio, thank you so much once again for being with us, and thank you for watching.